A new report finds that the Wall Street company Blackstone owns more than 60 apartment buildings here in San Diego County. Welcome to The Four. I'm Marcella Lee, in today for Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. That report also says that in the past 3 years, rents in those buildings have gone up nearly double the market average. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedall joins us live from National City with what Blackstone has to say about this, and she also talked to tenants at some of those properties. Kelly?
That's right, and one of those Blackstone-owned properties is here in National City behind me along B Avenue. Now, I talked to several people who live here who all confirmed that rent here has gone up. One woman I spoke to says she doesn't understand why a company that has so much money would do this to people who are barely getting by as it is.
Increasing our rent when you know we're not going to make it. Like, where are we going to go? To the streets? Because that's where they're going to end up here. Then they wonder why there's a lot of homeless. Because the bills here, the rent, just the rent alone is just too much for one person.
And that was Veronica Garcia. Her father is disabled. He lives at this complex, and she says the stress of the bills is taking a toll on him. Now, that new report titled Helter Shelter, put together by the private equity Stakeholder Project, a nonprofit watchdog organization that studies the impact of the private equity industry on communities, found that Blackstone owns 60 properties in the county. We do have a map showing exactly where they are. They are in different neighborhoods. We're talking close to 6,000 units. The report found that rent for new tenants increased an average of 38%. In some buildings, it was even higher. Now, to be clear, Blackstone is not doing anything illegal by raising rent, but because the law only allows rent to go up so much for existing tenants, the author of the report, Jordan Ash, says it gives the company an incentive to evict people and raise the rent for new tenants. And he says that's what's happening. So you're going to hear from him first, and then from Celeste Johnson, a member of Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment. She lives in a Blackstone-owned property.
Definitely needs to be more regulation. I mean, the bottom line is that people need a place to live. We believe that people have a right to housing. And while companies may have a right to also to make money, it shouldn't be in a way that prevents people from being able to have a place to live.
It's sad, it's scary to think that people have the power to lower and raise the rent and push people in and out, to have that power over people. I mean, it leaves a knot inside of you.
And a spokesperson for Blackstone sent us a statement this afternoon that it reads in part, quote, "The reality is that average rents at these San Diego communities are 20% below the San Diego market average. Resident review scores have increased approximately 40% under our ownership, and resident retention rates are significantly higher than the national average." So back out here live, the statement goes on to say that Blackstone has invested $100 million in improving living conditions for people, and it's conducted over 44,000 repairs. They also point out that during the pandemic, Blackstone did not evict anyone for 2.5 years. Carlo and Marcella.
Kelly, it's a complicated issue. You know, renters say they realize Blackstone isn't doing anything illegal, but there is a homeless crisis. There's not enough affordable housing. What else did the tenants you spoke with tell you about what they want?
Well, Celeste, the woman that you heard from second there, she told me that she's working 2 jobs just to make ends meet, and that she's just fearing that day when she will not be able to afford to live in her apartment any longer. I talked to other people off camera who told me the same thing. They say, you know, they love San Diego, they love living in the city, but everything is going up. Everything is so expensive here that they just can't afford to live here anymore.
It's one of the